Pokemon Legends EA has some of the best side quests in all of Pokemon history, and while most of the 119 side quests in the game are very well designed, today I want to talk about the top 7, the creme de la creme, the must-do quests in this game. Of course, this list is based on my personal preference, but I thought those stood out the most and would recommend any player go do them as soon as they can. You're welcome to share your favorite quest in the comments down below. But for now, let's begin with a quest that you can't even skip, a use for an evolution stone. This side quest is a very simple one. You trade a Pikachu to this lady so that she can evolve it with her Thunderstone. It's a great introduction to different evolution methods, but what's even greater is the quest's reward. Because in exchange for Pikachu, every player gets Boys, the Heracross. This Pokemon is a wonderful early game carry since it packs a massive 125 base attack stat, and it can learn utility moves such as Rock Smash for those pesky boulders and Aerial Ace for the spiky briars. Not only that, but since it is a traded Pokemon, it will level up a lot faster, and it can also Mega Evolve, which makes it very useful in the late game. I can totally see this Pokemon specifically being used to break some speedrun records in the game or help carry new players with little to no trouble at all. And also, if you're curious, Boys is actually supposed to be pronounced bois in French, and it means wood. Although funny enough, if you play the game in French, the Heracross is named Dyna for some reason. Is that a reference to Dynamaxing? There were a lot of references to Galar in this game, but sadly, Galar doesn't have the Pokemon from this next quest. A shiny Mareep? Just like its predecessor Legends Arceus, Legends EA comes with a side quest that gives players a free shiny Pokemon. And this time, it's my personal favorite Shocky Sheep, Mareep. All you have to do is climb up to the rooftops and this purple fluffy Pokemon will spawn in for you to catch. But be sure to save just in case. Things could have gone horribly wrong with this Alpha Weedle on the loose, although it might just be my luck and not a thing that happens for everyone. Either way, thank you for the shiny! And with that, we're on to quest number 3, which also comes with a special free Pokemon, Spupa in the Museum. This side quest is an extremely silly one, but it's also very well executed. There's this couple that loves Spupa the Pokemon. I don't think anyone else loves Spupa but these guys, and all 12 of their Pokemon have run off into the museum, and it's up to you, for some reason, to go collect them. Well, at first it does sound like a bit of a prolonged fetch quest that ended up being an excellent reason to revisit the museum and see some silly puns, most of which I will not spoil because, well, that's the fun part. Go see the art and history for yourself, and take the mysterious 13th Spupa home with you. This one might not seem as useful as the other free Pokemon I've talked about so far, unless you try to evolve it, because unlike every other Spupa in Pokemon Legends EA, which will turn into this generic metal pattern Vivillon, the Museum Spupa specifically becomes the nice blue marine pattern Vivillon. So if you want a blue butterfly, go to the museum, and after that, head to a cafe for the next quest, some friendly competition. This is one of those Battle the Trainer side quests that has you take on this tourist with her Clefairy and Lopunny. While the battle itself is nothing to write home about, the lesson from this quest is it explains how some Pokemon evolve through friendship, and also that you can quickly build this friendship by visiting the cafes. Oh, and she also gives you the Soothe Bell item, which will make that friendship value grow even faster. It's a great way to describe how the mechanic works, show some Pokemon that use this specific mechanic, and give the player a useful item to help engage with this mechanic even better. This is peak quest design if you ask me, and it's early game enough to where it's still relevant to players wondering why their little Badoo still hasn't evolved yet. Speaking of peak, do you guys remember Sky Battles? No? Well, this guy remembers. It was a mechanic in Pokemon X and Y where you could only battle with Pokemon who are flying type, and in a Sky Battle for old time's sake, you can take on this nostalgic backpacker to experience a Sky Battle for yourself. At first, this mission had me a little worried since I hadn't trained up any of my flying types, but you can probably solo his whole team with just an Aerodactyl, so it's not too much of a challenge. Overall, I liked it because it was a nice callback to the original games, and also, it's side quest number 69. Nice. But you know what's nicer? Side quest 100, Starmie on High. This is an extremely bizarre side quest where you get to join a Starmie cult. The Starmie has to be in your party, and you must visit in the middle of the night because that is peak cult hours, the ideal time to chant and cheer your love for the Pokemon Starmie. The quest itself is very odd, but what's even stranger is the rewards you get, which is the Eviolite. Every other item quest has you do a battle or something relevant to the mechanic of said quest, so why is this the quest for Eviolite? I was half expecting something like the Eviolite trainer in Sword and Shield, you know, show off a bulky middle evolution or something, but nope, we get to join a cult instead. And even though the quest is now complete, it's not actually over, since the NPCs do mention that they saw a shooting star fall near Blue Plaza, which is now Wild Zone 16. And if you go there, voila, you got yourself a Moonstone. Another mysterious item! It would make sense if this was a Clefairy quest, because that's the only Pokemon in this game that needs the Moonstone to evolve at the moment, so why Starmie? I know this thing is supposed to be an alien, but is it also from the moon? Honestly, apart from it being a very weird and silly quest, it also makes me wonder if this is Game Freak trying to like foreshadow Starmie getting an evolution using a Moonstone in future games, because if they do, we can look back and say, see, they foreshadowed it here. Speaking of foreshadowing, we're now heading into the late game, and that means it's time to take on the Pokemon League. So you know, the Elite Four and Champion, which aren't technically in this game, at least not these guys, because instead of them, we'll be facing the Frou-Frou League. It's a silly take on the Elite Four and requires you to finish all 3 of the Frou-Frou haircut quests, plus train up at least one really strong Frou-Frou, because you will indeed have to battle an Elite Four, all of which also use this Pokemon. And once you take them all down, you'll have to face the Frou-Frou champion at Cafe Wolf, which has a shiny Frou-Frou! I think this makes her the second NPC ever to use a shiny Pokemon on her team. But it will be a challenge actually getting to see this thing in battle, since you first have to take on her 5 other Frou-Frou. Oh, and did I mention you can only use Frou-Frou for this battle? So maybe one strong Frou-Frou isn't even enough. But you can do what I did and just bring a bunch of other Frou-Frou as fodder while you revive your main doggo. It is such a wild ride of a side quest, just to see if you have what it takes to become Frou-Frou champion. Honestly, I would do a run as this character if Frou-Frou was available early on, but alas, it is a late game Pokemon, so I'll just take my golden bottle cap as a reward and enjoy the title of Lumiose Frou-Frou champion. And with that, I've lost all meaning of the word Frou-Frou and have covered my top 7 favorite side quests in Pokemon Legends EA. Of course, this list is based on my personal opinion and preferences, so feel free to share your favorite side quest in the comments down below. There were a lot of good ones to choose from, so I'm curious to see which ones people actually liked the most. Either way, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy questing, gamers!